We were not built to lead from fear, pressure, autopilot thinking, or even other people's expectations. I am Lucas Sherrod, and this is the Uncaged Leader. Practical tools, real conversations, and the freedom to lead like yourself. Let's get uncaged. Here's a question I'd like you to consider as we begin this episode. Where does your energy come from on a Tuesday afternoon at 4 p.m. when nobody's clapping, nobody's watching, and the win you needed didn't happen? You see, the answer may tell you more about your leadership than anything else I could ask. I've been thinking a lot about this. Why is it that as leaders, we abdicate our energy source to outside sources? Let me explain. Why is it a compliment from somebody we esteem mean more to us than just knowing that we did a good job? Why is it the applause of a crowd sometimes means more than an attaboy from a familiar face? Why is it that an award or a paycheck or a bonus or being able to say, I did that, why does that outside stimulus give us so much energy when the truth is we're created in the very image of a great, great God? we're wonderfully and fearfully wired. You see, I'm not anti-applause, and I'm not anti-encouragement. And as a leader, I know one of my roles, definitely as is yours, is to encourage, is to build up, is to give words of affirmation, is to praise people, and is to applaud them. And honestly, in our own lives, hitting a number is a good thing. Closed deals are a good thing. Being told and feeling good because somebody told you you're doing a good job, those things aren't bad. Here's my point, though. They're just unreliable as a foundation. Hear this. External energy is always borrowed. It feels incredible when it shows up, and it always eventually leaves. It's short term. It's not sustainable. And my challenge is, just personally, if that's my only source of validation, I have discovered I'm not leading, I'm chasing. Want to encourage you. Where does your energy come from? Does it come from the applause of people? Does it come from the attaboys? Or does it even come from your bank account, accomplishments, and numbers, awards? So I want you to think about this. Much of what we've talked about in the Uncaged Leader is how do we handle negative programming? How do we handle programming that tells us ourselves a story that doesn't serve us really well? But here's what I want to also ask you. What story do you tell yourself after you succeed? What story do you tell yourself after you hit the ball out of the park? What story do you tell yourself after you've won the award? I remember there was an award in my franchise that you had to work 5 years for, so it wasn't a quick hit award. I won a lot of quick hit awards, annual awards, but this one you had to work for 5 years. You had to, double profits in that period of time. You had to attract 100 or more real estate agents to the firm, and you had to do all these things. And after 5 years of laboring and working hard, very few people actually won this award. And I remember being awarded that award. And I remember as I walked across the stage, I received my plaque and I got off stage. That thrill lasted for about 10 seconds. And then my mind immediately went to, oh, but what about this? And what about this? And what about this? Because you see, external stimulus is only borrowed. It's not sustainable. So what we have to do as uncaged leaders is our relationship to success. While it feels good in the moment, it cannot be the core driver for our energy. I'm not going to abdicate my energy to anyone or anything else. I want to find that self-sustaining energy that keeps me going regardless of the applause or the criticism, regardless of the dollar amount or the lack of dollars, regardless of the awards or lack of awards. I want to do the thing that I'm called to do, and I want to encourage you to do the thing you're called to do, regardless of an external stimulus, because it's something that you can't control. I want to build my energy around something I supply, something that I can generate, so I have self-sustaining energy. I want you to think about internal energy, energy that is generated from your identity, from purpose, from self-awareness rather than circumstance. I think this issue of identity is a huge issue in our country Because you think about it, when somebody's 6, 7, 8 years old, oftentimes people will ask this question, which is a horrible question. What do you want to be when you grow up? What we're really asking in that moment is, what vocation do you want to choose? What do you want to do when you grow up? But we ask this question, what do you want to be when you grow up? You see, I'm an author. I've authored a book, but I am not an author. I do a lot of public speaking and keynote speaking and seminar speaking, but I am not a speaker. I am who I am. I am not what I do. You see the distinction? And it's huge, because you see this. That job that you have, that you say, I'm a realtor, I'm a salesperson, I'm a business owner, those things can be taken away from you. So who are you then? Our identity needs to be rooted in something much more deep than an external thing that we do. Internal energy doesn't ask, does it go well today? Internal energy asks something like this: did I show up as a person I'm choosing to be? Very different questions. You see, it's not about what you're going to achieve in the next year. It's, who do you need to become to achieve those things? It's not, I raised a great family. Can I raise a great family? Can I have a great marriage? It's, who do I need to be a great spouse, to be a great partner, to be a great parent? Who must I become is ultimately the entire question in leadership. So I want you to think about the cage. When your energy is external, you are by definition controlled by something outside yourself. You're controlled by your boss's affirmation. You're controlled by a paycheck. You're controlled by an award. And that becomes a cage in its most literal form. The uncaged leader isn't someone who is immune to outcomes. They're just someone whose energy doesn't rise and fall with them. So here's the tactic. 3 steps. 1, I want you to track the spike and the crash. For 1 week, notice where your energy surges and when it drops. Maybe even write down what triggered each, because the patterns will emerge fast. I'm doing this personally right now this week. Number 2, ask the ownership question. For each energy source you notice, ask this question: do I control this, or does this control me? You see, applause, sales, and praise, you don't control any of those. Your effort, your integrity, your presence, you do. Number 3, build one internal anchor. Pick one identity statement that has nothing to do with outcomes. Something like this: I show up prepared and present. I show up regardless of the result. I am a person of integrity. Build that anchor, return to it, especially on those days when the external forces go quiet. You see, don't misunderstand. I'm not telling you to stop caring about results. Results matter deeply. Goals are immovable objects in my world. Care about them deeply. Just don't let them be the only thing that keeps lights on inside of you. I've been thinking about this a lot. Why would we ever abdicate our power to an outside source? Because here's the truth. External energy will absolutely come, and it will absolutely go. The leaders who last, the ones who are standing and still leading 10 years from now, 15 years from now, aren't the ones who got the most applause. They're the ones who learned how to generate their own light. Hey, if you liked what you heard today, I'd encourage you to subscribe to this episode. And also, we've got some resources that I would like you to check out at the uncagedleader.com/resources. Download those resources, words that create buy-in, and other resources. And please give me feedback. Let me know that helps.